I'm afraid.
Why don't you play us something, baby? Why don't you play us something? Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good. It's fucking molten!
That was pretty wacky. Buck LeDuc just put on the theme song and then fucking fled, dude. He just hit record and fled. And he's the audio engineer. So I had to get up and do his job as he fled.
No, the song is 3 minutes, so it can just play.
Oh,
It can literally just play for as long as it, and then I would have turned it down.
Oh, I didn't let it play. Oh, well. Welcome to the Movie Epidemic Podcast, guys.
Hey, can you flush the toilet in the studio after you take a piss, please?
Did I not do that?
It's not your home, guy. You gotta flush the toilet.
Oh, my bad. I felt like I remembered doing that, but apparently I didn't. Welcome to the Movie Epidemic Podcast. My name is Chadley, joined by, as always, Buck Hollywood LeDuc.
And here's the thing about me, is I'm the most Hollywood person there is, more than most people in Hollywood, really.
Correct.
I'm an insider.
I think you would definitely hurt people.
Now, here's
to get
the thing.
information.
If you're here in this episode, you already know I've been at the Calgary International Film Festival for about 4 or 5 days, and you're like, I wonder why this guy's so happy. It's because I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
So
Are you hurting? I
bet I am.
You're
I bet I am.
Bad. Yeah, we'll probably have some Calgary Film Festival stuff that's up on our feed right now.
Yeah, I'll probably do. Yes, I'm definitely doing some episodes.
Currently, yeah, absolutely. On today's episode, we're talking about.
I can't wait till you see my my underground film or my international film festival schedule. You're gonna be like, this guy's gonna fucking die.
You are going to die. You are absolutely.
I am dying. Currently dying.
Today on the Movie Epidemic Podcast, we're talking about some movies, but that's not my job. Podcast Bot 5000.
Hello, Chadley. It's me, Podcast Bot 5000.
Hey, buddy.
Follow me on Twitter at Podcast Bot 5000.
Okay, good. Hey, do you have a bit to do before you introduce the movies, or?
You want me to?
You don't have to. Usually you do, so I'm just waiting for it at this point.
Yeah. I was talking to John Crawley.
Yeah, from Brooklyn fame and Boy A fame.
What's Boy A?
I don't know. It's a movie he made.
I don't think he did, because I've never heard of it, and I'm Podcast Bot. I was talking to John Crowley, and he's like, these boys are going to definitely not understand this movie.
Correct.
Because they're dumb, and critics suck.
Which
He was talking about how critics suck, and they should all be buried underground.
Perfect. Yeah.
John Crowley wants to bury you.
If I were John Crowley, I think I'd be making that type of argument also.
Really? Because that seems like more of a Fred Durst argument.
It might be both. It's definitely a Juve argument.
Oh, it's a total Juve.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want to box John
So
Crowley.
you guys are going to be watching the Goldfinch, the Fanatic, the Intruder, all the titles. Very cool. I bet that's going to look very good on the episode title.
Thanks, Podcast Bot. But what else are we watching?
Well, you're also going to be watching an Abbott and Costello, the last Abbott and Costello that we'll be talking about.
Rest in pepperonis.
Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy.
This was the second.
Arguably the best mummy movie.
This was the second last Abbott and Costello movie that Lou Costello made before he died.
Rep.
Second last one. And I guess
he is looking pretty old in this one, so.
Yeah, he's definitely. Well, he.
What did he die of, like lung cancer or some shit?
No, he was overweight. He was 52. He died.
Oh, he just had like a heart attack or something?
I think so. Rest in peace, Lou Costello. So let's get into it. Let's talk about John Crowley's The Goldfinch.
Oh boy, dude.
Fuck, dude. Look. Here's the thing. It's super dry, and like that's fine. That's totally fine. This movie's super dry. I think it's A-ish. But here's the thing, is that it's also 2 and a slice.
Oh, dude, and a slice?
Fuck, dude, 2.5 hours.
You telling me it's also a slice?
Dude, 2 and a slice, dude. How could they do me
so
like
we got
this?
to go to the critic screening of this bad boy, although it's going to be like 3 weeks out since we've seen it when this episode drops.
Yeah,
but
we also were the youngest people there, for
absolutely.
sure.
And it was funny because like people started rolling up late and they just started sitting directly beside me. It's like theater's basically empty.
Yeah, guy. All we have up there is 15 55-year-olds.
He even turned around and he's like, you want to sit up there? There's like lots of space. And the lady's like, no. And I'm like, come on, get away from me.
There's so much space, lady.
Luckily, they were respectful. So
yeah, everyone was respectful.
it's all good.
It's a critic screening. Everyone's respectful.
Usually.
Yeah. I got up to piss at one point, and then when I came back, I thought they were going to kick me out because they were giving me eyes, dude.
Dude, you were running.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had to piss. I wanted to go and piss as quickly as I could. I didn't want to miss
I get
shit.
why you were doing it, but it's suspicious if you're just running in a movie theater.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's like if you were running down the aisle of a plane, dude.
Yeah.
People would be like, why is this guy running? People are jumpy, dude. There's a shooting every day. You know? Like this guy just start shooting all the old people in the Goldfinch screening. I don't know what this guy's gonna do. He's running.
Yeah, he's definitely got something going
Do you
on.
see why that would be suspicious to the security guards as a guy's just running?
You know what's crazy about this is that while these critic screenings usually have pretty intense security, it was wicked intense for this one. Like they were pulling all stops. They were doing like they were making us take shit out of our
Yeah, they did that
pocket.
for it too, and I got real mad at the lady. I'm like, she's like, do you got phone, wallet, or keys in your pocket? I'm like, yeah, I got all of that.
I got all of that on my person.
And I'm like, what do you think I'm going to be trying to smuggle in my? I was just wearing a t-shirt and my pants. I'm like, what do you think I'm smuggling in here? These are grapefruits in my pants, player.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about the Goldfinch. So the first thing that I noticed about the Goldfinch is that this movie, it's got this weird atmosphere to it, and it's like John Crowley's filming style, where like you almost think it's like the 60s. And
To be fair,
yeah.
Roger Deakins shot the shit out of this as usual.
Yeah, it like the cinematography here is
like,
amazing.
When it comes to cinematography in 2019, hard to beat Deakins, dude.
Yeah, it's a great looking movie. It's just weird because Crowley is like, I'm gonna use my classic signature 1960s style,
And it's not even supposed to be.
No,
right?
it's
like
not.
that's the point you're trying to make.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like they're like it's like this 1960s style. All the furniture's super old. Everything's really old, and then all of a sudden he's just listening to iPod. He's got an iPhone, and it's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, and it is that thing where I feel like they try to. I saw somebody like write this more eloquently than me, but like it feels like they're mistaking the Goldfinch book as the actual masterpiece of the Goldfinch, you know? Like they're treating the story with the same weight they would an actual masterpiece.
Yeah.
And that's why this is bullshit, because the book's probably not very good. You know, like it's popular, but like just like looking at this, it seems so tedious. Like everything about it.
You know, I agree, but also I think all the elements are there that I think this would be a fine book, but it doesn't translate onto
No,
film.
absolutely
It
not.
super does not translate onto cinema because it's so dry. It's so boring.
And it definitely has deeper themes of like debt, because everything's so easy in this,
yeah, well,
right?
and this movie is about like the difference of class for sure.
Yeah, and like the fate of things happening. And it's just like 2.5 hours of that.
Yeah, that's
No, thank you.
and here's the crazy thing.
And the problem is that the main character is the rich kid.
Yeah,
Like bad things happen to him, but he's still a rich kid, so he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's
you
doing
know?
all right. He's still
The,
got
the best character is Boris, and he's barely in the movie.
yeah, I agree. And we'll talk about Boris at length in a little bit too, because that brings me to my next point. Theo, why do I give a shit about this guy?
Yeah.
Why do I care about him at all? Because here's the thing. He's played by the two different guys, the kid, and then the adult version is played by Ansel Elgort. And I have this problem with a lot of the people in this movie, but why the fuck is every actor dead behind the eyes? Why does it look like everybody doesn't want to be
I
here?
get why the
That
kid
character,
would be.
Yeah, he's going through shit. But Nicole Kidman out here barely saying her lines. Jeffrey
she was unconscious.
Jeffrey Wright isn't even opening his mouth.
Jeffrey Wright's eyes actually were closed. I know we joke about that a lot, like fucking actors sleepwalking through performances. And Jeffrey Wright's one of my favorites of all time, dude.
Me too. I'll always give him props, but not for this.
And his eyes were straight up closed in scenes.
Luke Wilson was kind of trying, but even he was.
But that's like the
not
best.
interested.
That's about the best Luke Wilson can actually act, though. To be fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's definitely the shittiest of all these actors. But like
if you put,
Kidman and Wright, and even Elgert.
yeah.
Elgert's.
for
I
sure.
think Elgert might just be dead behind the eyes as a whole.
Yeah.
But-
Well, he got fucked by Count Spacey, probably. So.
Yeah, maybe, probably. But yeah, even Elgert, who's usually pretty good, is barely letting the words come out of his mouth.
And I wonder if this is like, because if you watch Brooklyn, it's kind of the same shit.
Yeah,
you
and-
know.
and-
So it's like I wonder if it's just Crowley's directing style.
Well, and I was thinking that too, because like for Brooklyn, it almost kind of works.
Yeah,
Just
'cause
given
it's like,
that story.
it's like a dreary like immigrant story, whereas this is just like a rich kid
This is just like a drama film where everything's
where everyone's just sad for some reason.
everybody's just sad. And like the movie hinges on pity, which I really hate because
And I've heard the book goes like a lot deeper into like his drug addiction stuff, and
Yeah.
I think that would have been like. More, like if you're really dealing with trauma, I actually want to see the trauma come out. You know, I don't want him to just like keep talking about it.
yeah, because like the drug addiction parts of this movie seems less like trauma fueled and just more like peer pressure.
Yeah,
Than anything,
yeah,
you
for
know?
sure, for sure.
But yeah, then you have Boris, his buddy that he meets in. First of all, I love the setting of the town that they live in,
that's
where
actually
nobody lives
really
in it.
great. And when
Yeah.
you get Deacons out there, you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this looks good as fuck.
And those aerial shots look fucking incredible. Look so good. And him and this character, Boris, are the only people who live in this town. And Boris is a Russian kid with a super thick Russian accent.
Well, that's not entirely true. It's Vegas. It's a suburb that like very
Yeah.
few people live in.
Yeah. But then Boris is played by Canadian actor Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things fame.
Yeah, the most normal walking man on the planet. You
Yeah,
mean?
he doesn't know how to walk.
This
which
guy's never seen someone walk before. I was just like watching him walk, and he's like, it wasn't even a point when he was drunk or anything. He's
Yeah.
just like, this guy doesn't know how to walk in boots.
But here's the crazy thing. He's not good in this movie, but he seems to be going for it.
To be fair, he's only been in 4 movies.
Yeah, so he's pretty new to it. Four movies, 4 of which came out this year.
3 of which,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he can't fucking stop being in movies for some reason. And you know what? Like he's pretty good. You know.
Yeah, you learned a lot from the Duffer Brothers over at Stranger Things.
Yeah, he learned a lot from and Muschietti. The
yeah.
2 movies he did, the 2 It movies he did, and he's pretty good. And we talked we talked about It Chapter 2 last week, and now we're talking about this. This kid just can't stop being in shit, you know. And Stranger Things 3, like I feel like we're just off the rails of that.
I only watched 1 episode, and I'm like, I don't know about this one.
and that Xavier Dolan movie also just
yeah,
came
I
out.
forgot he was in that.
Yeah, with Kit Harington. Like that also just came out.
No,
Like,
that's not. I don't think he's in that one, is he?
yes, he is.
He is?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Tremblay.
Oh, maybe it is Tremblay. No, yeah, I think you're right. I think that is Tremblay. But
He's also in a lot of shit.
yeah,
this year.
he's also in tons of shit. Tremblay's coming up too, and Tremblay's way better than Wolfhard.
He's gonna be good for sure.
Yeah. But like Finn Wolfhard, like after seeing this movie,
Trumplay's gonna be like a Leo guy, I think.
yeah,
He's gonna be in like prestige pictures for like a long time until they finally give him an Oscar.
yeah. But you look at this movie and you look at Finn Wolfhard and you're like, he's not good yet,
Yeah.
but he's going to be for sure.
It does seem like he's trying.
Yeah, he seems
'Cause-
like
'cause
he's
he was-
because nobody else is trying.
And
with
he
this
was
fucking
doing
thing.
like, to be fair, he was also trying to do a Ukrainian accent.
Yeah, and it's not the worst accent I've ever heard.
It sounds like one.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a cartoon one, but that's kind of what they sound like, to be fair.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
I went to the Ukrainian village up in Edmonton there. And
Yeah,
they're-
I saw that. That
And
was
they're
cool.
and they're doing the bits, dude. They're like, they have actors doing the bits. Sound like Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
The funniest part though was like we were like walking by these chicks and they were like pretending to be like fucking Ukrainians and they were like throwing these like seeds at these chickens.
Yeah.
And they're doing like I was like with my cousin and his kids and they were like they were like doing like this bit with the kids and then like the kids walk away and they just start talking regular. They're like, that was fucking cool. I was like,
that was fucking.
I was
wild.
like, hell yeah, that was sweet.
Oh yeah, but yeah, so that was like the most surprising part. But here's where I get really confused because Boris is played by 2 guys,
Yeah.
2 different guys, Finn Wolfhard, and then I don't know who the name of the guy who plays him as an adult. But
That guy was good.
also fucking good. Like why did he only direct Boris? I'm confused because every other actor.
I think it might just be the only interesting character.
Yeah.
Like, I think that actually might be the case.
Yeah, that actually, I think you're onto something there because the character of Boris truly is, especially like when he rolls up later in the movie when he's got like the giant coats and stuff, like
Looking good. Dude. He looks like he reminds me of fucking guy Poe from Poe Dameron.
yeah, he looks like Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, yes.
Yeah, was it Oscar Isaac?
It might have been.
Dude, if we miss an Isaac, dude, I'm gonna be pissed.
It wasn't.
What's his name?
Fucking Anirium Bernard. He's fucking crazy Ukrainian, probably.
Perfect. Get him in more shit. Get him in more shit.
Oh, he's Welsh, dude. That's even crazier.
That is
Because
crazy.
he's like straight up doing like a very good accent.
Yeah, Welsh and Ukrainian, that ain't the same at all. No. Yeah. And so this movie also, like, I want to know because I've heard people say that the book is amazing. That the book is one of the best books they've ever
He
written.
was in Dunkirk, but there was a lot of people in Dunkirk.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention it, I recall him in there.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember being like, is that Isaac?
Yeah.
But the thing about, in fact, in my review, I think I was like, there's a guy who looks like Isaac in this, but it ain't Isaac.
Yeah.
But thinking about this movie, I wonder if the book is better at explaining itself.
Yeah, it has to be.
because this movie is dog shit at explaining itself. But not only that, but there's so much romance plot that means nothing.
Yeah.
It just means nothing to this movie. Like the him getting married to the girl who's cheating on him with the cigarette kid. That means nothing. It doesn't even contribute to the character's attributes or emotions, which is fucking crazy.
He's unfazed by it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point. But also, why is it so much of the movie?
Yeah, and then there's like this part where he tells this girl that he's been in love with for years that he's in love with her, and then she's just like, that ain't me, player, and that's that. And they set that up for so long just to have it be about nothing.
Yeah.
And so I want to know what exactly, because like this book is revered. Something went wrong.
People really like this book.
Something went wrong here.
I've heard it is just like supermarket trash pretty much, but it's like one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like James Patterson shit.
James Patterson isn't exactly popular, but like nobody thinks James Patterson's a good writer though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Who wrote this book? It was someone, was it like Atwood or
Judy
like
Tart or something like that.
Judy Tart, right.
Margaret Tart?
Margaret Atwood.
It's not Margaret Atwood. I can guarantee you that. Donna Tart.
Yeah, Donna Tart. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. It just feels it almost feels like there's a shell of an amazing movie here that somebody just fucked up the insides of. They're like they put it together like completely wrong. Like the puzzle's here. All the pieces are here.
Yeah.
But you fucked it up by making it so boring and so unlikable and so uninteresting and not letting me be engaged. I was not engaged by this movie at all.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, like, and nobody seemed to want me to be engaged. That's the problem.
And then like things would just keep happening, and it would be just so convenient. And I get that's the point of it.
Yeah.
It's like it's about fate and shit. But also, why is stuff just happening?
Yeah,
you know?
why did he just fucking run into Boris trying to do a coke deal?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
It's just like those bullshit coincidences that like. Okay, but like maybe give me something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like when stuff just happens.
Oh, and it's convenient that after he wrapped up the picture, he didn't look at it for 20 years. That's super convenient.
And then it's just like they rush through the ending so much once they get to Boris. They're just like, oh, we're just gonna. Oh, you mean I lost the Goldfinch? Oh no, I'm fucked up.
Yeah, let's go get it back.
All right, let's go to
like
Ukraine.
It feels like this is 2 hours and 10 minutes of setup for a 20-minute movie.
Yeah,
which is insane. This is a 2-star in the Chadsky scale. It's not
one for the movie, one for Roger Deakins.
Yeah, one for the movie, one for Deakins. Yeah, because it's a great looking movie, and there is something here. It's just not
for sure. And
it's not fleshed
there's
out.
definitely sections I like just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like as a whole, it's like there's so much that's happening. He's just doing stuff sometimes. Like he's buying books for people that he doesn't give to anybody. You know, it's just like there's like he's just like. Talking about selling furniture, but not actually selling furniture at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and then you have that skinny nerd guy who, by the way, also that's about nothing. The skinny nerd guy who's like,
no, that is about
you.
something because then you know that the Goldfinch is being used elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it's like, how could that be possible?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then when he starts threatening him, that's about nothing.
Yeah,
The actual threats,
that
about
is
nothing.
actually about nothing. Because then Hobby, played by our good friend Jeffrey Wright's like, fuck off, but it's not on screen. He just says that he's told him to fuck off, and that was the end of it.
Hell yeah. What do we want to talk about next?
A lot of open ends on that bad boy. Let's go with The Intruder.
Yeah, let's hit The Intruder. This is the one I'm really excited to talk about because this is probably here's the thing. This is a conflicting week for me because the next two movies we're talking about, I'm not sure at what I think about them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because here's the thing about The Intruder is that it's awesome at times.
Yeah, dude. Whenever Dennis Quaid is on screen,
It's awesome.
it's like he's in full Nick Cage mode, dude. This guy's so fucking buck wild that like it's like I almost like this movie.
Yeah, like I'm in the
Because
same
otherwise
boat.
it's the most generic just kind of
Intruder.
thriller.
Yeah.
We're talking about how nobody's making thrillers. I guess this is why they're all going to VOD and fucking have Nick Cage and Dennis
Nope,
Quaid in them.
This was in theaters. This movie came out of the theater. Just nobody saw it.
Nobody saw. I like this is the kind of movie that I don't count as an actual like
Theater
real theater film.
Yeah, because we're not going to the theater.
I'm not going to go
see
see The Intruder.
Yeah, I'm
when
gonna
it
get it
pops
on
onto fucking Netflix, of course I'm watching it. You know?
So here's the thing: is that the two main actors super bad.
Yeah, they're really
Really-
bad, dude. It's like
really
I
bad.
actually think I wrote that down. It's like community theater.
Yeah.
and like I think even Dennis is like part of that, but it's so crazy.
But here's the thing: is that Dennis Quaid? I've never liked him before, and I love him in this.
Oh,
movie.
dude, he's like I'm not even joking. He is phenomenal in this.
He's fucking real good. I just wish literally anybody else was going. This is like this almost feels like a micro budget type film, like
Yeah.
like those Nicolas Cage type things, because there's 5 people in this movie.
Yeah, and it's just shot at like some house in the woods. Like,
Yeah, and so let's talk about some of the problems that I have with this movie, because again, I do think this movie's pretty awesome.
well, here's the thing. I don't think it's good, but it's extremely watchable.
Oh yeah, it's engaging for sure. But here's what I don't like about this movie is that right off the bat, you set up this character as like this Fortune 500 millionaire. He buys like this giant house in Napa Valley for his wife, and like that's all great, and she's great. She's great, a little bratty, but great. But then they're like, we're gonna do this weird thing where we're gonna try and build up Dennis Quaid as the good guy.
Well,
Well, he's a little creepy,
Yeah.
but ultimately
he
he's
doesn't
innocent.
seem like he's the villain.
He doesn't seem like he's a villain because, and here's why he doesn't seem like the villain, because they're building up the main guy as the villain.
Right.
Because he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's a fucking scumbag. And like it feels so organic, and it feels like it almost feels like the movie is tempering your expectations. They're like, we know what you expect from this movie, but we're gonna turn the tables, and then last minute they're like, nah, we're just gonna give you that shit you expect. Nah, we're just gonna fuck it up, make Scott the hero, and then Dennis Quaid's now the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I was kind of looking forward, like,
The double turn, as they call in wrestling, when one guy becomes evil and the other guy becomes good. The double turn, dude.
Yeah. But it's almost like this is like a bad version of The Gift. Remember that?
Yeah,
Because that movie is awesome, but this is like bad.
Well,
The
it's
Gift.
it's kind of like a home invasion movie slashed with like something else, you know?
Yeah, like
'Cause
almost.
it's not a home invasion movie, but it's like, you know, it has that. It's called The Intruder. You know?
Yeah, he does intrude for
He
sure.
definitely intrudes. He's not doing too many B&Es, though. He's
Yeah.
mostly just like showing up.
Yeah, he's mostly just showing up. He's knocking on the door.
Yeah, he's
Like,
knocking on the door, dude.
He's waiting till he's invited
I think there's
inside.
only like one time, or like maybe twice, when he actually goes inside without being told to come in like a vampire. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is like this character of Scott is such a cocksucker, and his wife is like at home, like trying to do all this shit by herself. And Dennis Quaid rolls up and he's like, do you need a hand or something?
Yeah.
And he's just being a nice guy. And then when like they start to dig up the fact that he is in fact not such a nice guy, I'm like, okay, well, you're losing me now, because I sort of gave
But
a shit.
To be fair, though, that is when he gets the craziest. And
Yeah, and the most fun to watch,
yeah,
for sure.
So it's like I get what they're going for. I understand the give and take here.
And here's the wildest part about this movie is that they're living in this house for like maybe a month through the duration of this film. But near the end of the movie, they find the like hidden passageways that he's been living under the house. And let me tell you something, they're not very well hidden. I can't believe they didn't fucking find it. Like,
It's not like in Parasite, dude.
yeah, it's not like a Parasite where it's super well hidden. No, It's in plain sight. It's just through a door you never went through in your new house for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, and Dennis Quaid's down there like, they're never gonna look at that door. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they look?
Why would they look at the fucking door?
Dude, if there's some sort of creepy door in my house, first thing I'm opening.
Yeah.
First thing I'm opening.
First thing I'm opening. And like, cause like the big thing about this movie is that like even once Scott starts getting like super disrespectful to Charlie, like Charlie's still pretty nice. He's still pretty nice about it. He's like, all right, like he's being super disrespectful, and Charlie's like, all right, I apologize. You've
Yeah, he's
had
like,
a few
yeah,
too
fair
many.
enough, fair enough.
Yeah, you've had a few too many. I'll try and keep my distance. My apologies. You know, like
He's like, I just love the house, love the house.
I love the house. You know, you and your wife seem like nice people. You know, like, he's just out here being a nice guy. And then they start digging up all this shit about him, and you're like, oh no, Charlie, no.
Oh no, you
please.
killed your wife that way?
Oh,
no.
Oh no, a murder suey. No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this movie, it's buck, and like here's the thing I'm gonna say about this movie, because you're right, it's not very good, and it's super poorly paced.
Yeah. And it also looks like a TV movie.
It looks like a TV movie. It looks like shit. But here's the thing. That ending is the most gangster ending this movie could have fucking possibly had. That ending is fucking awesome. I love the ending to this movie. It couldn't have ended any other way, I
Right.
don't think.
No.
Super dope. It's okay. I mean, if you're looking for some fucking midnight drunk as shit, eating McDonald's
Oh yeah.
trash to throw on Netflix.
Oh, this is it, dude.
This is the one. This
Boy, do I got a movie for you.
this movie might as well have Bruce Willis with a gun on the
Dude,
cover. Like,
it might as well had a guy with full body armor with a gun on the cover, because I'm gonna click it immediately. You know?
yeah, absolutely. This movie.
Dude, any movie that has a guy in full body armor with a gun, I don't care who's in it, I'm clicking on that shit when I'm drunk as fuck at midnight.
Yes.
You know?
Now, here's the thing. I haven't written my review for this movie because I really wanted to have this conversation first because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But now I know. It's a 3.
2 stars. Buck says 2 stars.
Buck says 2 stars. He's being meaner than me today, but I also think this movie is a 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. I guess like fucking Quaid is bananas in it,
Yeah,
but
it's-
nothing else about it's very
Dude,
good.
his smile, his big Quaid smile.
Yeah.
Dude, I was loving it. I also love when he was like sitting on the bed and he was like had his shirt off and he's all fucking ripped as shit for some reason.
All just shredded out.
Just shredded
Dude's
out.
on so much TRT.
Just fucking smiling into a mirror. I also like that we didn't mention this, but I also do like that he's trying to fuck the wife the whole movie. and I was watching it with 2 other people. I watched this with a few people, and we were watching this, and we're all like sort of in agreement. We're like, I hope Charlie fucks this lady. Yeah. Oh yeah. 3 star. Let's head on to Universal Monster Movies. Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello. This movie is not as good. It's fine. It's fun. It's funny. But as far as like the Invisible Man one had like more bits, I think.
Well, this one is like should be called Abbott and Costello Briefly Meet the Mummy.
Yeah, because this movie mostly is just a mummy movie, and they're there sometimes.
Well, the thing about this is it's just so that they can get them into Egypt to do bits, you know?
Yeah, but like here's the crazy thing about this movie is that unlike the Invisible Man one, they have no reason to be here.
Yeah, they do. They're
Oh, right, they're explorers. Okay, no, this is the wackiest part of this movie. Oh, this is all coming. I watched this today, and this is all just fucking coming back to me. The wackiest part about this movie is that they set up the movie that these 2 guys are explorers, and they give them names. They give them like one's name like Franklin, and one name's like Fred, or something like that. And then like 10 minutes into the movie, they just like say, "Fuck it, call them Abbott and Costello." And like they give them names, like full names. It's insane, dude. But this one, I find that this one's a little bit less fun. There's a few really good gags in this one.
well, once they get to like the temple at the end, it's very fucking funny.
Once there's like all those people dressed up as the mummy and they're all like mistaking each other for each other, like that's the most fun. You got like Charlie and he's in the mummy suit. You got the mummy who's in the mummy suit, obviously, and then you got Bud Abbott. Bud Abbott, who by the way, at least was trying to make jokes, but Lou is still stealing the show.
Yeah, he always does.
Yeah. The weird thing about these movies too that I've noticed is that Bud Abbott is a pretty good-looking dude, and Lou Costello is ugly as fuck. And for some reason, in every one of these movies, everyone trying to fuck.
That's the joke, though.
Yeah,
that is the joke.
That's the joke, and it's great. I
And
love
it's funny every time
Yeah.
because it's like
because they know
It'll
that
be like-
Bud Abbott's way
yeah,
more handsome.
Abbott's like, you know, he's looking good, and he's just like walking around, and then like the ladies just don't want to fuck him at all. That is funny.
Yeah,
and it's in all of these movies.
And they only want to fuck Lou, which is funny because he's ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite gags in this movie is when they find out that the medallion they're holding is cursed.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to pass it off to each other.
That's one of their classic bits is the burger thing.
Yeah.
Where they're just like trying to fool each other into eating the medallion or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And that one's good. And you know what's crazy is that that medallion still rolls up, but he eats the whole thing.
Dude, and there's even like a bit where they're trying to get it out of him.
Yeah.
And, like that's like
fucking hilarious.
It's fucking insane. It's like
Yeah.
why are you doing this? Like
yeah. But like the first half of the movie is like at first they're like it felt like they weren't sure exactly which movie they wanted to write because they're like, okay, we'll have it where like this guy's been murdered and they have to find the mummy to prove their innocence because the fucking Lou Costello's such a moron that he gave a fucking picture of the dead body with Bud Abbott standing next to it. And that's funny, but then like they're like trying to evade the police for a little while, and then like 5 minutes later the police are like, "Oh, we know you didn't do it." And it's like, okay, so it's not this movie then. We got a different movie coming up here. And then all of a sudden it becomes about them trying to explore the office of the guy, and then they just find the medallion. They find it, by the way. They just
no,
find
that's
it.
not what happened. They're like in the first scene they hear about the medallion. They're like, we're gonna steal that.
Oh, right.
It literally happens in the first scene.
Right.
It's like you didn't even watch this one. Did you watch this one?
I did watch this one.
Doesn't seem like you did.
No, yeah. And then so they get the medallion and they find out that it's cursed, and then they end up at the mummy's tomb at the end. And that's the most fun because
the mummy's tomb stuff is fucking great.
Yeah, because you have the three different people. You have like the crooks who are trying to steal the mummy.
Yeah.
You got Bud Abbott and Costello who are trying to steal the medallion, and then you got like this cult thing going on over here with these people who are just trying to save the mummy.
Which is bananas,
Yeah,
by the way.
and they're trying to use the medallion to revive the mummy. And so once you get to that point, it's like, whoa, crazy.
Do you remember when they're all three dressed up as the mummy and they're trying to like do a switcheroo thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Doing the three-way switcheroo is my favorite shit. But no, I think for the most part this one is funny, and I think it's.
I agree that it's not as funny as the other ones.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not as funny as Invisible Man because that one had the boxing shit, and that's like there's so much more gags you can do with the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Than I think the Mummy. The Mummy is mostly just like, you know,
it's still the most entertaining mummy movie that was made.
Oh, I agree because like I'm not a big fan of the Mummy movies at all. And like I don't think I like any Mummy, even like the remakes or like not. I don't like any Mummy movie.
I like the Brendan Fraser ones.
Well,
we're doing those as a series, so.
Oh, fuck. I can throw in that Tom Cruise one. Who gives a shit?
No, we already reviewed that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And it's bad. But yeah, like as soon as you throw in the mummy shit, like there's more stuff you can do. Because like there's more just Lou Costello being scared than in The Invisible Man. And that's funny. But he doesn't do the Lou Costello scream as much. He doesn't
do the scream as much, but he does do the too terrified to move a lot in this one.
Yeah, that's true. And he gets frozen in place. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, which was a big staple of Meets Frankenstein was the Lou Costello too scared to move bit.
Yeah. But another great part is like when they're doing the three-way switcheroo, Lou Costello keeps grabbing the mummy by the hand and being like, "Let's go, bud." You know? Even though it's he's definitely the mummy. Fuck, man.
Abbott wrapped up though does look like he should play the mummy though.
Yeah.
So he's a lanky bitch.
I agree. Yeah, I like this one too because like they don't actually wrap them up. They're in a weird like mummy suit, like it's a jumpsuit of some sort.
Yeah. Where did you get?
Yeah, where'd you get? Because I am looking. I am looking to purchase.
This guy's looking to make a big purchase these days.
Yeah, and it is in fact a mummy pajama pant.
Oh, that's very nice. A mummy
jumper,
a full body jumper.
Yeah, full body jumper. It makes you look like a mummy.
What are those like blankets that have like
a snuggie?
Snuggie.
Yeah,
it's a mummy snuggie essentially.
Yo, can we market the Movie Epidemic mummy snuggie?
Absolutely, we can. Let me get in touch with the snuggie people.
Perfect. Head on over to movieepidemic.com and we'll be selling that Movie Epidemic mummy snuggie.
Absolutely.
Specifically made to make you look like Bud Abbott. Oh man, this one's fun. It's not as fun, but I still think there's so much here.
Yeah.
There's so much here. I still think this
There's so more because these ones are always like a feature length, dude. They're like always an hour 20.
Yeah, this one's 120, which is
They're always movies, whereas like the other ones kind of just feel like afterthoughts a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Although this one, while I think the last one felt like a Abbott and Costello movie where they were like, we got to add something into this to make it more. This felt like a mummy movie that they wrote. And they're like, we got to add something. Can we just start? You know what? We had Abbott and Costello in that Invisible Man. Let's just toss him in. We can write that in. We can make that work for sure.
Right.
Yeah. This one's good. Yeah, this one's good. I give this one a 3-star on the Chadsky scale. It's pretty fun.
3 stars, baby.
Yeah, 3 stars. Three stars. Want to talk about our last movie of the day?
Oh yeah.
Good. I'm glad we saved this one because I do have half an hour to talk about this.
Good. That's how much we need. So.
Perfect. Huh? What?
Huh?
Excuse me, Mr. Fred Durst.
Did Movie Pass make this movie like gaudy? What the fuck?
This movie is fucking shouldn't exist. Realistically, it should. It's a wacky experience. I think you should see it, but it's not good, and it shouldn't exist.
It's like gaudy though.
Yeah, it
like
is.
in that it's so crazy that you can't not see it.
Yeah, it's like it's a train wreck. You can't look away.
Is Travolta a human? Because like from what I can tell, the last few years, guy's definitely alien.
Yeah, he's a robot that you can program to your will. So this movie is called The Fanatic. Now, let's get something out of the way right now. This movie is, in fact, directed by Fred Durst, the frontman of Limp Bizkit. Has he directed a movie before? I feel like he has.
I don't fucking
But
know, dude.
fucking he shouldn't because
Let me pull up IMDb here.
because first of all, he's extremely bad at it. But second of all, who looked at Fred Durst and was like, you know what would be fun is if we gave this guy a full-length motion picture.
He probably just asked if he could make a movie.
Yeah, he probably did. He probably did. Because I feel like there's some, like, really wild. Was this like Lionsgate or something? Or, like, Skydance or something fucking weird like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know who fucking made this movie, but it's insane.
He directed some stuff. He directed The Long Shots with Ice Cube, that basketball movie.
Oh, yeah.
That children's basketball movie.
Okay.
And then mostly just Limp Bizkit music videos.
Limp Bizkit music videos. That checks out. Okay, Fred Durst. I see what you're doing here. So let me explain to you what this movie is.
All about the nookie.
And I'm going to try to explain this movie in a way that's not offensive at all, but I'm telling you now that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough because this is like maybe the most offensive movie I've ever fucking seen in my
Dude,
life.
It's wickedly offensive. So this movie is about a mentally challenged man working in Hollywood.
Yeah.
As like he's like one of those guys
Street
that you
performer.
see. Yeah, he's a street performer you see on Hollywood Boulevard, and he's like, Hollywood, it's where dreams come true. You know, he's dressed up as like an English Bobby doing a super shitty English accent, but that's part of it too.
Yeah.
But he's playing this mentally challenged guy, and let me make something super clear about this movie. Even though I don't like the content and I don't like the direction, Travolta's good. He's pretty good as this character.
He's pretty bananas as it. He made some choices. I was gasping at the choices he was making.
Yeah, there was a lot of times I was watching.
I was fucking astounded by the choices he was making.
This is like the type of movie I had my hands on my face the entire time, and I was like, no, you can't do this, Fred. You can't do this to me. So he plays this mentally challenged guy living in Hollywood, working on Hollywood Boulevard as a street performer, and he is a fanatic. As the title suggests, he's a fanatic of horror films, and he loves horror films. But he's specific.
Does he like action movies?
He likes action movies. He likes horror films.
Whatever this guy's
he
in.
likes memorabilia. So he gets the memorabilia,
Signatures
and he
especially.
gets autographs. He loves shit that's autographed. And so he finds out that his favorite horror actor of all time, Hunter Dunbar, is going to be doing a signing at the memorabilia shop that he spends most of his money in. So he buys like a jacket from the movies, like one of the movies that he's in, and he goes to get the jacket signed. And finds out that not only does he not get his jacket signed, but finds out that this guy he loves so much, Hunter Dunbar, not a nice guy. not a nice guy.
Right. It's a don't meet your heroes type of story.
Yeah, and they keep calling celebrities, what is it, celebutards or something like that, which is even more offensive.
I guess.
Yeah. And so you
think it's more offensive than Travolta doing, "Durr, hey guys, it's me, John. It's me, Moose. Everybody,
yeah, it's me, Moose.
Durr."
Yeah.
He says "Durr" in this, dude.
You're right. He does. You're right. That is offensive. Fuck.
Really fucked up. Guy.
It's fucked up. And so the movie becomes about John Travolta. At first he's like trying to apologize.
Yeah.
Because he like accidentally offended Hunter Dunbar, and Hunter Dunbar was like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face if you don't fucking get out of here." And so he feels like he offended him, so he's like trying to write him a letter. And then, man, this movie gets so fucking wild, dude. It's the most roller coaster movie I've ever seen, because it's certainly engaging. That doesn't mean it's good, but it's engaging. It pulls you in and it makes you part of it, whether or not you want to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I definitely wasn't making a lasagna during this fucking thing, dude.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, I can't not look at this.
I watched this at like midnight when I had to work the next morning, and I expected to watch half of it. Not a chance. Not
a chance, boy.
Not a chance. I went to bed late that night because I had to see this through. It's as soon as he starts, like, because he finds like a Where Do They Live Stars map app.
Yeah, it's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. You have to get him to the house somehow. That's not the best writing, but you have to get him there.
You do have to get him there.
Yeah, you do have to get him to Hunter Dunbar's house. And as soon as he does that, then the movie becomes like Hunter being really on edge about this creepy guy who hangs out by his house, this mentally challenged guy, and being rude to him every time he sees him. And I get it. He's an actor. He probably gets harassed a lot. I get it. Whatever. But then, like, this movie just delves into insanity in the fact that at one point, Moose, the main character, just decides to live at the house. Just decides to live there. And the craziest part about it is that he documents everything that he does on social media. He's like kissing like Hunter's like asleep body.
Oh, dude, that's fucking hilarious. And he drops the phone and he doesn't wake up for whatever reason.
Yeah, you know. At that point, I was like, "Oh, come on, guy."
Were you like, "Shum on"?
Shum on. To be fair, though, he was drunk. Though Hunter was drunk.
Yeah, but I think if I'm passed out and someone drops a phone on me, I'm gonna be like, "The fuck is this phone?"
Yeah, you're gonna wake up for a second. Also, later in the movie, when it's morning and they both slept in like the chairs or whatever, and his alarm starts going off on his phone, and Moose wakes up first and is like, "Oh fuck, I gotta get out of here," and he flees. And Hunter doesn't wake up to his own fucking alarm just long enough to let Moose get out of there before he
slip
sees
on
him.
out, dude.
Just lets him slip on out, which, by the way, takes way longer than it should. It takes like 40 seconds for him to get the fuck out of there. But then the craziest thing that's ever happened in a movie fucking happens in this movie. And this is the part that I've been thinking about more than anything in the entire world this week. There's a part of this movie where Hunter is driving his kid to school, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to listen to some music?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And then Hunter's like, turns on the radio and he's like, "Oh yeah, Limp Bizkit."
Oh, it's so sick.
Limp Bizkit's playing for a full 60 seconds. I get it's 88 minutes. You got to pad the runtime with something, but it's a full 60 seconds of him listening to Limp Bizkit and going, "Yes, fuck yeah."
Oh,
this
it's so
rocks."
good, dude.
So good.
Dude, he's out here and he's like, "Yo, Limp Bizkit." He's looking in the camera basically. He's like, "Limp Bizkit fucking rips, dude." He's like, "This shit rips."
This slaps.
Dude, I don't even think I know a Limp Bizkit song.
I can't think of one. I know there's that one where Ben Stiller's like, "Fuck Limp Bizkit, man," but that's all I know.
I know, actually, I know a single line. "It's all about the nookie," and I don't know what the song is though. Like I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: is that like it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
No, it's just a cameo, dude.
It's crazy. I'm like looking around. I'm laughing my ass off. Everybody in my fucking house is asleep. I'm laughing extremely loud.
Dude, when I was sitting on my couch watching this and there was no one around, I'm like, "You guys seeing this shit?"
Anybody else? I told at least a baker's dozen people about that the next day.
Dude, the thing about Travolta movies is it gets the people going.
Yeah,
dude.
that's very, very true.
Gotti City, baby. I'm out here explaining the 5 boroughs, motherfucker. I rule them all because it's Gotti City, baby.
Gotti City, baby. Yeah, and like that's the point where I almost was like, I think it's bedtime. I think it might be time to turn it off. But then he comes across Moose again, and I'm like, oop, no, I'm back in. And he starts because like
This movie barrels, by the way.
Yeah,
like
this-
it's like because there's so little plot that it's just barreling, dude.
yeah, dude, this movie feels like it's 8 minutes long.
And it should have been probably.
This should have been a short film. Maybe it shouldn't have been anything at all.
It should not have been made. Yes, correct.
But then, like, the more it goes on, because he breaks into this guy's house a few times.
Several times.
And he just gets excited about shit, right? Because he's a mentally challenged guy, right? Like, he just gets excited about, like, different shit. He's like, wow, I'm wearing Hunter Dunbar's shirt. Oh, and by the way, the convulsing that he does, where he's, like, rocking back and forth in his chair, stop that. Enough of that, guys. It's wicked offensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
I like to the point where like we said at the beginning of the review this is an offensive movie, and you're like, all right, let me tell you what you got. Tell me what you got. Now we've told you what it's about, and if you're not sitting there,
Travolta goes full, dude.
he goes full, and if you're not sitting there thinking like, oh, that is offensive, then I don't understand.
Excuse me.
You're
You're,
gonna have to go-
fucked up.
You're going to have to go watch the movie because obviously we're not conveying this enough. And you should. Here's the weird thing about this movie is that it's one of those movies that I want to tell people not to watch, but I also have to
dude,
tell people
this
to
thing
watch
is,
it.
This thing is going to live as a legend at midnight screenings, dude.
Dude, if this was at a midnight screening, do you know how fast I would fucking be
Dude, this
there?
thing's going to live as a legend.
Yeah,
dude.
and I watched it
And
at
I
the
thought
perfect
thought
time.
Gotti was going to be a legend. This is takes that by 1,000, dude.
Yeah. Gotti, I don't even remember that movie.
Because
to be honest.
Gotti's boring. This is not boring. This is the Uwe Ball thing where he's like, you can put anything you want on the screen as long as it's not boring.
Yeah.
It can be funny. It can be shocking, but it can't be boring.
Yep.
And that is what this is.
Like Fred Durst certainly lives under the Uwe Ball philosophy for sure.
It's way better directed than a Uwe Ball movie, and it's terribly directed.
Yeah. Which let's go to that too, because that's another thing that pisses me off. Hey, Fred Durst.
It does feel like a music video because, like, the craziest part to me was when they did the intro, where it was just like they would show their name and then it showed a clip of the movie where the character was in. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy editing.
Yeah, and then they would also have like those weird like drawings. I'm not sure what that was even about, like the chalk drawings that they would have like between each act.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. Like they had one where it was like the girl, the paparazzi girl, which by the way, there was a paparazzi girl in this movie and she played a part kind of. Yeah, she was there
So
just to
it's
be
like
there.
it's like a 3-person cast, to be fair.
Yeah, it's true. And they're all okay.
Yeah, you're a big Devon Sawa fan.
You know what? I thought Devon Sawa was pretty good
You're a
at
big-
playing that character.
Big Devon Sawa fan.
Yeah, I kind of liked Sawa in this one. But like the movie it's shit paced. Like it's shit paced. Like it doesn't make sense until like the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, because it's just barreling.
Yeah,
dude.
because it's just barreling nonsense, and they don't try to explain anything to you. There's also like that character who's like the other street performer, and that's also about Newton.
Well, here's the thing about this movie is like it has all this stuff, but it also has nothing to say, right? Like that's like why you make movies.
Yeah.
So that there's a theme. The only theme that I can parse from this is that Fred Durst thinks all his fans are morons and he wants to kill them.
And he's right.
Probably.
Yeah.
But that's like if you've ever met Fred Durst, I'll let you know right now, he thinks you're a moron and he wants to kill you. Like he sees you no better than this John Travolta character.
Yeah.
And that's all this movie has to say. And okay, but it's also not a movie. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Do you know what's my biggest problem with this movie?
What's that?
So much of it is shot at night, and Fred Durst just simply couldn't afford a lighting rig. It looks like shit,
Yeah,
dude. This
it's-
movie looks like garbage. Those scenes where, like, especially like the finale scene where they're in Hunter Dunbar's bedroom. What am I looking at here, guy? Like, it's so dark. I have no clue what I'm looking at here. Yeah. And I don't know. Here's the thing that baffles me the most is that I know Fred Durst has seen this movie in full, and I can't possibly think that he thinks it's good. I can't possibly fathom that he thinks this is good and released it.
Well, I mean, it's like the Tommy Wiseau thing, right? Like you make some, like that's why I like this better than a purposely shittily made movie, because he genuinely probably thinks this is good.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what makes, to me, That's what makes a cult movie. Is that it's like someone genuinely made a fucking movie, and then you see it and you're like, oh, look, how did they think that?
How could they have made those decisions?
How could those choices have been made? Because I think if that Intruder movie was just a little bit shittier made, I would think of it as the same as the Fanatic. Like, why did these decisions be like? Because in the Intruder, it's like I get why the decisions were made. Like they actually
they're not the decisions I would make, but I get it.
But they clearly rewrote that script a few times. Yeah. Whereas this one, this is a first.
This is draft one,
dude.
Baby.
And Fred Durst was like, "Yep, that's what we're looking for."
And then someone was like, "Ooh, hey, hold on."
And they're like, "You should do another draft." And he's like, "No, we don't need to."
You know what I love most about this
genius.
movie is that it was produced by Fred Durst and John Travolta. Like, are these guys buddies? Do they know each other somehow?
I don't know.
They are now, I guess.
They are now. Maybe they're both in Scientology.
Oh, actually, that would kind of make sense.
It's probably where they got the money from.
Yeah, it's all coming together now.
Because sometimes just movies pop up and you're like, why did this movie get made? And you're like, oh, those are all Scientology people.
Which is pretty much every movie Travolta's made in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. What was that one that he was in where he was like, oh fuck, what was that movie that he was in? And it was a Nick Cage movie that Travolta was in, and he was just like he was playing for some reason like a 20-year-old even though he's clearly 50. I don't know. Fuck. Oh no, maybe that was Cusack. Maybe I'm getting my
that
shitty
was
actors.
Cusack. Yeah, that was Cusack.
That was Cusack. You're right. You know, I'm getting my shitty washed up actors mixed up.
If you're thinking of John Travolta and Nick Cage, you're probably thinking about Face Off.
Oh yeah, maybe that's where my head's going. Oh god, I love Face Off though.
They're remaking it.
Good. With Travolta and Nick Cage?
I know.
Then I'm out.
Then I'm out too.
Then I'm super out.
Look, Face Off's already perfect. You gonna improve upon this? Just re-release Face Off in theaters.
You know what? Make it Cusack. Make it Cusack and make it Quaid, and maybe I'm in. Or make it just both Quaids.
Yeah, make it two Quaids.
Make it Dennis Quaid and Randy Quaid.
Oh, now I'm so totally in because Randy will just show his dick the whole time.
Yeah, dude. What was that?
Got a hog on
What
him.
was that movie that he made?
Star Whackers.
Yeah, where it's just him standing there naked.
In a field by a river, reciting Shakespeare. Just the Puck parts though. Just like how Shakespeare always has like a character like Puck or one of those characters in all his plays. I forget which one it was. I think it was like one of the ones about kings, right? About how kings are ruling, and he was just doing the Puck monologues naked.
Fucking amazing.
Wow. I'm so lucky I got to see that.
Me too. Christ. Well, I didn't get to see it, but I'm lucky to have heard of it.
I should have fucking ripped the screener.
Yeah.
Because it is now impossible to find.
Yeah. One day it will resurface, and like the internet, there'll be like a thing on the internet that's
I would have been a fucking hero if I would have ripped that screener, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Apparently, you can send him money in the mail, and he'll send you a copy of it. I'm not even joking. I saw that on his website before.
Okay, well, we're going to look into that immediately after this podcast. So overall, The Fanatic, like, it's so bad. It is so bad, and it's an experience I'm super interested in having again. Like, it's the type of movie that I understand that is bad, but I need to have this experience. I need to be there for it.
Yeah.
It's insane. And here's the crazy thing. I'm about to give it a 2-star rating, and I'm also going to tell you to go watch it.
Oh, I'll be giving it a 1, but it is Buck, to be fair.
I'm going to give it a 2, but you should go and watch it because it's the most insane thing. It's the most insane thing that's come out in like 5 years.
It's crazy that it came out, even.
Yeah. This launch, like it.
You were mad that I made you watch this. Come on, dude. This is a cultural. This is a cultural touchstone, dude.
This is a piece of art. It's an piece of art I don't understand, but it's a piece of art. That's for damn sure.
Dude, when you talk about movies that are so crazy that they turn into cult movies, it doesn't happen very often. Like once every 10 years. This is fucking one, dude.
Yeah, this is it. We're gonna see this at midnight screenings pretty quickly. I think The Grey is gonna get there too.
I think The Grey might. People are like, Mandy, this is a cult classic. I'm like, no, that's just a good movie. Like,
yeah, Mandy rules.
That's a good movie. This is gonna be a cult classic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely check this one out. Hey, Podcast Bot 8000.
Oh, this fucking guy. This fucking guy.
Hey guys, it's me, Podcast Bot 8000.
Hey, Podcast Bot.
I need you to excuse me for today because I'm gonna do this very badly because I smoked a lot of crack.
Oh, I thought you were like one of those kids that are doing the vapes and their lungs are collapsing.
Well, yeah, but also the crack.
Oh, right, it's crack.
It's crack in my vape. and then I put the vape juice. It's raspberry.
Oh, right, it's vape.
Yeah, it's yeah. I vape, niche. On the next episode of Movie Epidemic Podcast, oh boy, the movie that might not even come out, so you guys might have to change it. But Rambo: Last Blood, because I don't think it's coming out.
Well, I'm not going to be able to go see it anyway since I'm at SIF all this week anyway.
Oh Jesus, you're gonna die.
I won't be able to see it.
Okay. They're also.
I
gonna
wouldn't
be
count on
watching-
that being on the next episode.
They're also going to be talking about A24's Low Tide.
This is a fest flick.
Yeah, Fest Flick A24. They're also going to be talking about Late Night, the shitty movie with.
Oh, you're making me watch Late Night, guy?
Yep, it's a shitty movie.
You know Long Shot's out, right?
Yep, but we're watching Late Night. Chad Lee is hell-bent on never picking anything above a 2-star ever again.
All right, that's just the show now. That's why I've started a second show on this network.
They're also going to be finishing off the Universal Monster movies. Very, very sad.
Wow, we're finishing off after 10 months, hey?
10 months, dude. It was a pretty good 10 months, man.
Pretty good.
We're going to have to crown the Universal Monster movie king next week.
Well, I already know it.
I already know it, too, and I'm sure it's the same one. But they're all good. What's the name of the movie podcast, Bot 8000? It's called The Creature Walks Among Us. Fuck,
Wow,
dude.
the Gillman's back.
That's a good title, dude. That's a sick
the
title.
Gillman. Can you just imagine the Gillman walking among us, dude?
I don't like it. I super
Damn,
don't like
I
it.
hate it. Go back to your country.
Hey, guys, you can follow us on Twitter at Movie Epidemic. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Movie Epidemic. We have a brand new website with tons of cool stuff coming up on it.
Yeah,
That's
definitely go to the website.
movieepidemic.com. If you just want to check out the podcast, of course, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, fucking wherever you listen to podcasts, it's there. Just type in Movie Epidemic Podcast.
Yeah, it's all there. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JHMacy.
Yeah, he's trying to make more money than he's already making. It's pretty bananas.
Well, I'm not really in it for the money. I'm just in it for the
I'm in it for the money.
just in it for the money. You know?
I'm
I'm in it for the nookie.
Oh, perfect.
It's all about the nookie.
Hashtag Fred Durst.